tree that's seen beyond the years. Thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears.
Today is Saturday, April 27, 2019 at 7:58 a.m. and I'm calling the Department of Health and Human Services Crisis Hotline. It's not a hotline, it's a cold line because no one ever responds. Watch, nothing's going to happen. This is supposed to be a critical care line that's dysfunctional.
Welcome to Michigan Centralized Intake, a 24-hour hotline available 7 days a week for reports of the suspected abuse, neglect, or exploitation of children and vulnerable adults. If you are calling about a life-threatening emergency, please hang up now and call 911. To fax your 3200 form or police report, send to 616-977-1158. If you are a law enforcement officer, press 3 now. Please note that your call may be recorded for quality assurance purposes. To continue in English, press 1. If you are a mandated reporter or other reporter of the abuse, neglect, or exploitation of a child or vulnerable adult, please stay on the line and your call will be answered in the order it was received. If you are calling to learn the status of an existing case, or if you are calling to contact a caseworker, please hang up now and contact your local department's office. To find the contact information for your local office, please go to the State of Michigan's website or our department. If you have questions about other programs or services, please hang up and call the customer service hotline at 1-855-275-6424. Again, that number is 1-855-275-6424. To repeat these options, press 4. If you are not calling to report abuse or neglect, please hang up now. Heavy call volume requires that this line be used only for its purpose, the protection of children and vulnerable adults, many of whom need. Thank you for your cooperation with this serious intermission.
Many that need what?
Please hold
to be ignored to death?
Call.
Your telephone call may be monitored for quality assurance.
Good morning, Centralized Intake. This is Tanya. Are you calling to report abuse or neglect?
Yes.
Of a child or an adult?
An adult.
Give me 1 second. Your name, please?
It's Saturday, April 27, 2019.
What's the phone number I can reach you on if we get disconnected?
I'm using someone else's phone, ma'am, and I have limited use of it, but I'll give you the number. It's 810.
Are you calling in regards to yourself?
Yes.
What's your birth date? Your address?
It's
What's your race?
Caucasian.
Any Native American, Indian heritage, or are you on trust land?
No.
And are you a veteran or receive any veteran benefits?
No.
Are you currently at home?
Yes.
And that's your private residence?
Yes.
And do you have any medical concerns, heart, diabetes, hypertension, anything like that?
Yes.
What do you have?
I've got multiple problems, health problems. Do you want me to list them?
Are you on oxygen, or do you use any like walker, wheelchair, anything like that?
I use a cane.
Do you have a doctor?
I had a doctor until 2016, until I lost my transportation to get to my doctors, and I haven't had medical attention ever since.
Okay. Do you have a guardian or power of attorney?
No.
And do you receive any in-home care or work with any agencies?
I've been trying, and I've been refused by every agency and department that I've asked for help for.
Okay. And if a worker comes up to see you, any safety issues or concerns, weapons, pets, or violent people?
No.
Go ahead and tell me what's going on.
You might be the same Tanya that I talked to on 423, calling saying I'm being put to death, and nothing happened. I called on 425 and talked to Travis, and I got a referral number, 845-244, and nothing happened, so I'm calling back.
Okay. I mean, we speak to a lot of people, so you may have spoke to me, but what do you mean you're being put to death?
I've got, the state of Michigan is in total collapse. Every department that I've tried to get help from has just turned their back on me, including the police. And in January 2017, Lapeer DHHS workers installed a water heater improperly in my home that immediately leaked and caused, in the course of a few months, caused major damage of over $15,000 that absolutely destroyed my home. And I've been without running water since November 2017. I've tried every department. I've contacted my state senator, the governor, and my state legislator. I've filed a civil rights complaint. I've contacted your department about 24 times.
Okay.
In October in October of 2018, Elaine Stoutenberg of Adult Protective Services lied to your department, and said that I am in no danger because I've got a grocery store right across the street, which is a lie. I'm disabled. I'm a 67-year-old disabled senior citizen. The nearest grocery store is a mile away. I tried getting to the grocery store in 2015 on a bicycle and fell and broke my collarbone in 4 places. Every department, agency knows all about this, and what you're doing is this is on purpose. This is murder. I'm being murdered by your department. You know all about this. I'm trying to file a complaint against this person because every time I call your number since October, I get nowhere. I call, if you're the same Tanya that I talked to on 423, where is somebody? I have no running water. I'm 67 years old. I can't walk. I'm stuck in a mobile home, and I'm dying and being tortured to death by my own government.
Okay. What, when you said that there was over $15,000 in damage and it destroyed your home, what exactly it was damaged?
The thing leaked twice, and the second time it leaked, I called my consumer's insurance policy. Gives me I have an insurance policy through consumers. They came out and they said they thought that the bladder on the new water heater that they supplied at Lapeer DHHS was leaking, and they didn't do the work. They told me that I had to contact another plumber to take off all the improper plumbing that their DHHS's plumber put on before they could even tell if the bladder was broken. And I've contacted the Michigan State Police. The Michigan State Police, Matthew Lehman, talked to DHHS workers Rhonda Lansing and Tanya McCrory. They lied to Michigan State Trooper Matthew Lehman in May of 2018 and said that they fixed my water heater and my roof and that I'm in no danger. So the state police dismissed my case, which is a complete lie. I've sent the copy of the email that I received from Officer Lehman, showing that DHHS workers lied, and no one cares. They set me up to die. And this has been going on ever since 2017 when I contacted them, and they've been ignoring me since November 2017. They can't. They're dead broke. Okay. They're dead.
What do you do to get water? Do you have a way to get water?
No, I'm living day to day, and when it was raining, I had buckets outside collecting water. I'm disabled. I can't walk. I can't get anywhere, and I'm just being tortured to death. And the government knows about it. Your department knows about it. The Adult Protective Services knows about it. The Elmont Police know about it. The Michigan State Police know about it. My Lapeer prosecutor Mike Sharkey knows about it, and everybody's just sitting there watching me die. And then they want me to pay my taxes in Elmont, and they say there's no way around it. Even though the Lapeer DHHS destroyed my home, they're forcing me to pay taxes on an uninhabitable home that I'm living in like an animal. And they say I have no choice, I have to pay to be murdered. I'm being forced to pay taxes to be murdered, and I'm paying your wages.
Okay. That phone number that you gave me in the very beginning, that's a good one for you to be reached on?
It's not a good one, ma'am. It's a Skype number, and I use someone else's computer, and I can only use it whenever I can. So I have to borrow computers to be able to call to get my phone. And DHHS supplied in 2013 an Obama phone through the federal government that never worked in my home. I'm disabled. I've never been able to use it. They refused to respond to that issue, and they've just wasted that federal benefit that I'm entitled to. The Lapeer DHHS has done absolutely nothing for me. When I tried to fight them from what they did to my home, they set up a hearing through the Michigan Administrative Hearings System and they gave me. I asked for 7 days advance notice and transportation as a reasonable request under ADA guidelines. They sent me postal mail, which I'm not getting on a regular basis. They sent it to me I received it on January 4th and for a hearing on January 7th. They gave me absolutely no advance notice. They knew that I didn't have transportation, and they set me up so I would default on the case. I miraculously made it to the hearing. The judge was not prepared to hear my case. She refused to address the issues that I came to address in the case and in the hearing, as per my DHHS worker, Rhonda Lansing, who I spoke with prior to the hearing, and I said the reason I'm going there is to get the issues resolved with the $15,000 damage that you did to my home. And she said go to them, and they've got many ways of helping you. When I went there, the woman was not prepared for me at all. She said we can only talk about food stamps and SER that I filled out, and they weren't prepared for me at all. When I tried to get the issues on my water heater, she was agreeing with me about everything, and then she told me we're not going to help you. And she said this is it. So I went into the lobby. I was sick, and the judge had police officer follow me out and tell me, get up, get out, and go home. We're watching you. And when I tried to file a complaint against that officer, no one will take that call. No one will take that complaint. No one will take a complaint against Elaine Stoutenberg, an adult protective services agent that lied in October and made it impossible to get service from your department. She set you up. She's sabotaging you. You could be the best person in the world and give all this information, and it's going nowhere, Tanya. That's why if you're the same person, check it out. If you're the same person that I talked to on 4/23, nothing's happened. Today's the 27th. Somebody should have gotten to me, shouldn't they?
At 4:23, I mean, typically they have anywhere from immediately to 72 hours to make contact with you. So yes, somebody should have contacted you if the complaint was assigned for investigation or not.
Exactly.
But I can't confirm or deny or anything.
Now, what you have to understand too is when Elaine Stoutenberg lied to the Almont police and said, "Hey, have him call me and we'll work something out. We'll try to figure out how to get your house fixed." I called that woman 11 times and she finally left a message on my voicemail to call David Lynch, her supervisor, who knew all about my case, and he would help me. And so I called him, and he didn't know me. He didn't know anything about my case. He didn't want to know about anything. Wouldn't give me any instructions. I tried to tell him my impossible to survive situation. That was on September 20th, 2018. We argued for an hour and a half, and the best thing he could tell me is, "Keep calling that crisis hotline. Keep calling that crisis hotline." So I said, "I've been calling the crisis hotline." And then I called the Almont police and talked to Officer Leo Hager, and he told me the same thing. "Keep calling that crisis hotline." It's not a crisis hotline. How can you say that? That's the thing. I'm being set up that there is no government left. It's a collapsed system, and you want me to pay taxes to pay wages of people that are murdering me.
Okay. So I am going to read back to you what I have, and you let me know if there's anything that I need to add or change. Okay.
Okay.
So that you're 67 years old and you're physically disabled and you use a cane for assistance ambulating and you live alone, correct?
Yes.
That your hot water heater broke and DHS paid to have a new one installed. The new water heater leaked immediately and destroyed your home. It is believed that the bladder of the water heater is bad and needs to be replaced. That you do not have water and have not had water since 2017. There's over $15,000 in damage done to the home. That adult protective services workers have been contacted and state that you reside across the street from a grocery store and therefore you are not in danger. However, due to your physical disability, you could not get to the grocery store, which is over a mile away. That in the past you have tried to ride a bike and you fell and broke your collarbone. You currently do not have any water or access to any water and you put buckets outside to get water when it rains. That you have contacted law enforcement, the Department of Health and Human Service, and other government agencies regarding these concerns and no one is responding or helping you. You are also being forced to pay taxes on the home even though the home does not have water and is not livable, but the city of Almont has told you that you must pay and there's nothing else you can do. Is that everything?
No, ma'am. Legally, I am not responsible for that water heater, but it doesn't matter. I've tried to act as my own attorney, but I can't. I am not. I'm not even getting close to a legal system. What happened is when my water heater leaked, when their water heater leaked in November 2017, I tried to defend myself. I contacted both departments, DHHS and Adult Protective Services, and I asked for their records, their files under Freedom of Information Act, and they've refused, and I never got that request answered. I have not been able to represent myself in any kind of court. When I went to their January 7th, 2019 hearing, they threw me out, and I brought 32 witnesses, remote witnesses, live streaming on the internet that were ready to bear witness to my hearing. I had that right to bring witnesses, and the judge defaulted. She said that I could not video record, and I had to shut my recorder off. She defaulted on the case. I did not. The case never happened. She didn't address any of my issues. So what I did is I tried to file an appeal for a hearing, for a rehearing, and they stalled me out until last week, I believe, I can't remember the date, but when I finally contacted them to do something, the MAHS judge Alice Elkin, I complained I can't survive any longer. This has been going on. That was 4 months ago that I attended this hearing. They just stalled me out, figuring I'd die in the meantime. When I complained, she immediately sent a dismissal of my case and ignored 179 pages of evidence and 33 evidence videos. Didn't respond to them in any way or matter or form. So I have to appeal that now. Then I had a Department of Civil Rights worker, Charles Archie. The Michigan Department of Civil Rights has had my case since August of 2017. They didn't do anything on it until November of 2017. I made a complaint to my Senator Mike Green, so they finally got on the case and they said, yeah, we think you have a case. So they started investigating it. I filled out a bunch of paperwork in January of 2018. Charles Archie was assigned to the case. He didn't do anything until I started bugging him in August, and he got involved in it. He started asking a bunch of questions about the water heater and what happened. Then he disappeared. I filled out paperwork. I sent it to him in a proper time frame as he requested. that's when I asked him to forward a $15,000 court of claims case against Rhonda Lansing and Tanya McCrory of Lapeer DHHS and Steve Atkinson of Adult Protective Services. I sent him an email on August 7th, 2018, and I've sent a copy of that email to the governor, to the state senator. My new senator is Kevin Daly, and my state legislator Gary Howell, and they just ignored it. And
okay, all right. So I have all of this information. I will go ahead and pass it along to the supervisor. It sounds like you've called before, so you're familiar with the process.
Yeah, I know exactly where it's going to go. Tanya, it's going to go nowhere. Now, why don't we anticipate that this is going to go nowhere? What's the next step? What do I do now? Well, tell me now so I don't keep calling.
Typically, we would direct you back to the county and to kind of climb the chain of command there, to speak with the program director or something like that.
I'm telling you something. That's the problem. I can't even, they don't even respond. They won't return my phone calls. And the Elmont police told me, I called Adult Protective Services supervisor Marie Ship. I sent her all my information. She sat on it for a month, and when I complained to her, she said that I had to call local law enforcement. It was the same thing that happened with the MAHS judge Alice Elkin. When I called her to finally do something that day, she dismissed the case and said that I had to call local law enforcement. I called local law enforcement, Elmont Police, and they don't want to get involved. So they say
Have you spoken to Ms. Ship, supervisor?
I don't know who Miss Ship supervised. Ma'am, do you understand? I'm being put to death.
Yes,
and wait, don't hang up on me. Hello? I can't believe this. Governor Gretchen Whitmer, did you hear that? State Senator Kevin Daly, did you hear that? State Legislator Gary Howell, did you hear that? What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to survive? There is no government.
For purple mountain majesties, how about the fruited plain? America, sweet America, God shed His grace on thee, and then crown that good in brotherhood from sea to shining sea.